Hey y'all, and welcome. For those that don't know me, my name's Miriam. I'm a full-time artist, and today I want to share with you 7 of my favorite aha moments that I've had. Now, my hope is that in sharing these moments with you, it may spark something in your own artistic journey. So let's hop right into it. The first aha moment came during a workshop that I took with the amazing artist David Kassan. And if I'm mispronouncing that name, I apologize a million times. But during that workshop, he said something that struck a chord so deep within me, it honestly changed my art forever. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of paint the person, not a photograph of the person. And when he said this, I'm sure he was talking about the dimensionality and the feeling and the soul of the person, but it struck such a chord within me. It sent me down a coffee fueled research spiral into the technical differences between your eyesight and a camera. All right, now for those that don't know, I used to work as a professional photographer, so this stuff is right up my alley. Now, one of the biggest differences between your eyes and the camera lens is when it comes to dynamic range. Your eyes have amazing dynamic range. And basically, what that means is within one scene or setting, you can see really dark darks and really light lights. Whereas a digital camera has a much harder time doing that, especially when we get into the highlights. Now, as a consequence of that, sometimes when you're looking at a photograph of a person, two different things could happen. One, it might make highlights in different parts of the picture look the same. So it might make the highlights on the chin look the same as the forehead. Or the other thing that could happen is it can make non-white highlights look like they're pure white when really they're not. There's a lot of other really cool and really technical differences between your eyesight and the camera lens. And if you guys want, I can do a full video on that. Just let me know in the comments. But basically, what it all comes down to is knowing that sometimes seeing is not always believing, or what you believe. You get what I'm saying. But if you go into your portraits with form in mind, form focused, and know that your reference photo, especially if you're getting it online where, a professional photographer has done editing, has probably even compressed values even more, knowing you don't have to stick to exactly what's in that reference photo. Paint the person, not the picture. Thank you, David, for those words. All right, let's move on. All right, aha moment number 2, and I'll be really quick with this one, but it's working at an upright angle. Now, there's a few reasons for this. When I was first starting out and I was trying to learn how to draw and paint, I'd get really frustrated because my proportions would never come out correct and my perspective was always off. And that's because I'd have my laptop here like this with my reference photo and my paper would be down like this. And it's two different perspectives. Of course, I was never going to get it right, or at least I was making my job a million times harder. Working upright, having both my reference photo and my canvas be the exact same angle next to each other makes a world of difference. Also, along with that, having my reference photo cropped to the exact same dimensions as my reference photo or as my canvas, game changer. Now, along with working upright, there's another huge thing that does, and it allows you to draw from your shoulder. This was another aha moment for me. I could never get really big gestural marks. My marks were always really jagged. They didn't look confident. But when you switch to move to drawing and painting with your shoulder or your elbow, you're going to get a lot more gestural confident marks. So that's number 2. All right, number 3, and don't laugh at me for this one. It's going to sound stupid. I know it's going to sound stupid, but when I first started out, I would watch videos of artists that I admire and that inspired me, and I'd see them going straight to the canvas and doing that. And it looked like magic to me. I was like, how are they doing all of that without measuring? It blew my mind. And then I realized they are measuring. They're measuring the whole time. They're just doing it in their head. I thought that I just had to sit at my canvas and draw, and I thought it would just pour out of me. I didn't realize that 95% of my time I'd be sitting there measuring in my head. I used to see people doing this. Had no idea what they're doing. And now, sorry, I got a little excited there, but all that to say, I now spend 90% of my time measuring, but I'm doing it all in my head. I wasn't always able to do it in my head. I used to use tools like a proportional divider to help me. But if you are at the stage where you are trying to get better at freehanding and nailing your proportions on the first time, one, measure, measure, measure. Measure. There's lots of ways you can do it. You can use comparative measurement. You can use triangulation. You can drop a line. You can use a tool like the proportional divider. But measure, and then after you finish, check your work. That's the big thing that people miss. They're not acting as their own teacher. Check your work after. It's really hard when you are working. You're doing drawing after drawing, painting after painting, and you're saying to yourself, I don't know why I'm not getting better. Well, have you checked your work? Can you name what's going on with it? Being able to articulate why something isn't working and figuring out why is going to help you. That's the first step in making change. So measure, measure, measure. Aha moment number 5. Technology isn't cheating. Using technology in your art process isn't cheating. Let me repeat it again. Now, what is cheating? Cheating. Cheating is cheating. Don't steal anyone else's work. Don't cheat. But using technology is totally fair game. And once I started using technology to help aid my process, it was like a light bulb went off. Some of my favorite things, and I've made videos about it, is using a digital color picker tool to help me mix my colors. So things like that. Using Photoshop to create a value map, breaking down all my values into a value map so that I can really understand the form of my subject. These are all things that really help me throughout my process and have been quite the game changer. Aha moment number 6. And this is another one that I could spend 5 hours speaking about. I can make a whole video about it. But finding your art style. Art style. It implies it's a singular thing. Your art style is not a singular thing. Your art style is a universe. You are the creator of an artistic universe, and your universe is vast and deep and profound. And just like any universe, there are, or planet or country or anything, there's characteristics that make it up, but it's vast. Maybe I should cut this out because I'm starting to ramble and sound like a crazy person. But don't put yourself in a box. Don't narrow yourself down. That probably made no sense. Let me go on to the next one. All right. And the last one, aha moment number 7, was when I learned that the skill of observing was in fact a skill that I needed to practice and improve on. My work improved tenfold. The better I got at observing, the better I got at painting. And it kind of goes hand in hand with studying, because it's really hard to observe something, even if you're looking at a picture of something. Like, let's say I'm looking at a picture of someone from behind, and they're showing their muscles. Even if I'm looking at it, it's hard to replicate or know what's going on unless I can name what I'm seeing, unless I can put words to it. So that's why studying anatomy has been really helpful. It's really hard to draw, especially from memory, the parts of an ear if you don't know what they are, even if you're looking at a picture of all the different parts. So there's a lot of things like that where our perception gets in the way of reality, especially like the eye. It's such a detailed area. And I would look at an eye, draw it, and think that I was drawing what I saw. But really, I wasn't. I wasn't really observing very well. Again, I hope I'm not rambling too much, and hopefully this makes some sort of sense. But when it comes to color, when it comes to value, when it comes to anatomy, take your time observing and put words to what you're seeing. When you can put words to it, when you can name what's going on, it's going to come a lot more natural and it's going to help you. Some of my favorite classes that I've taken that have helped me with the skill of observing is Proko. They have tons of free and paid videos, but that one just helping me name and understand what I was seeing in a picture, game changer. All right, I rambled so much, but if you've made it to the end, if you've made it this far, then I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I want to hear what your aha moments were. All right, bye guys.